Hey guys! Today, I'm bringing you another hot take on a movie that is definitely going to ruffle some feathers, just like my Oppenheimer video not too long ago. So, let's dive into my Barbie review. Barbie and Oppenheimer were released on the same day, July 21st, 2023. I already gave my honest opinion on Oppenheimer and how I think the movie became the new Emperor's Clothes. I'll put a link to that video in the description below so you can check it out. Basically, you would think that if you disliked Oppenheimer, you would love Barbie. Wrong! My hot take today? They were both pieces of propaganda in their own way, and neither of them was good. When Barbie was announced, I thought Margot Robbie was the perfect choice. If anyone could pull off Barbie, it was her. Not only is she absolutely stunning, she's also a great actress. After watching Barbie, aka rabid feminist propaganda, I have to say she really carried this movie and softened the impact because she's naturally beautiful and charming. If they had cast someone less attractive with a terrible attitude, I don't think the movie would have done nearly as well. Oh, like Amy Schumer, who was previously assigned to the project, the anti-Barbie? That thing would have bombed faster than Oppenheimer's career if he had tweeted #JustDropIt in 1945. So they had to cast someone really likable that doesn't have a terrible attitude to make sure all the talking points stick. We are introduced to Barbie Land, a place where Barbies and Kens live together in harmony, except everything is run by Barbies. And by everything, I mean Barbies are the president, Supreme Court justices, and even the road workers. This so-called perfect utopia is entirely controlled by Barbies, while Kens are just useless accessories who hang out at the beach and contribute absolutely nothing to society. And apparently, that's a good thing because when women are in charge, everything is perfect. And I'm just going to pause right here and say, this is not a Barbie, this is a Ken. We meet the main and original Barbie, played by Margot Robbie. She's living her best life in Barbie Land, following her daily routine, attending fun parties, and basically existing in a dream world. She has her own Ken, played by Ryan Gosling, but she doesn't really care about him. He's annoying and constantly seeks her attention, which she isn't interested in giving. One day, Barbie starts having strange thoughts of death, and the next morning, her feet go flat. Clearly, something is wrong. She seeks help from Weird Barbie, who tells her that something is happening in the real world with the girl she's connected to. So Barbie decides to travel to the real world to find her. On her way there, she finds out that Ken stowed away in her car because he wants to go with her. She reluctantly allows it, but when he asks to sit in the front seat, she shuts him down with a firm no. When they arrive in Venice Beach, California, they both experience major culture shock because they look completely out of place. All the men are staring at Barbie and making inappropriate comments, which she doesn't like. Meanwhile, Ken also gets attention for the first time in his life, and he loves it. Then Barbie gets smacked on the butt by a random guy, so she punches him in the face. Both she and Ken get arrested, but they manage to get released, steal some clothes, and then get arrested again. After being released, Barbie sets out to find the girl she's looking for. While sitting at a bus stop, Ken asks what he should do. Barbie tells him, "I don't care, go for a walk." When he asks if he can go a certain direction, she says yes, only to suddenly yell at him not to go too far because he's clearly very stupid. Ken then wanders into a corporate business district where he sees men in suits at the gym, in high-ranking jobs, and even as police officers on horseback. He watches a montage of men in recent history and absolutely falls in love with the idea of patriarchy. Meanwhile, the FBI alerts Mattel that 2 of their dolls have escaped into the real world. Of course, the entire Mattel board is all men because, according to this movie, the real world is the complete opposite of Barbie Land and is solely run by men. At Mattel headquarters, we meet Gloria, a receptionist who sketches her own Barbie ideas, like Cellulite Barbie, Barbie with irrepressible thoughts of death, and crippling anxiety Barbie. A male employee awkwardly taps her on the head to get her attention because apparently that's how men behave in the real world. Barbie is following her visions and they lead her to a high school. She talks to Ken, telling him she has a strange feeling of fear with no specific object in mind, when a passing woman chimes in and says it's anxiety and it's normal for this age. Ken says he's feeling great, to which the woman replies, "Of course you are, because kids don't take it out on the dads." This is interesting because neither Barbie nor Ken are parents, so it doesn't really make sense. Then Barbie finally finds the girl she's looking for, Sasha. But instead of being excited to see Barbie, Sasha and her friends completely dismiss her. They reveal that they haven't played with Barbies since they were like 5, and actually hate Barbie because she has made them feel bad about themselves. This is where the movie's logic falls apart. At the beginning of the film, there is a voiceover saying that before Barbie existed, girls only had baby dolls to play with. Ugh, who wants to play with babies? They're not fun to play with. So when Barbie arrived, all the little girls smashed their baby dolls. But now we're suddenly being told that Barbie is the reason for female insecurity. Which one is it? You can't say that girls loved Barbie because she was empowering and then say girls hated Barbie because she was making them feel insecure. The movie contradicts itself constantly, making blanket generalized statements that fall apart under scrutiny. I, like all my friends at that time, played with Barbies. I had a bunch of them, and not once did I think, oh no, Barbie's body is unattainable. It's a freaking doll, for fuck's sake. It's supposed to be fun. She's pretty, she's got great hair. The hardest part was putting her damn clothes on. Nobody looks back and thinks about Barbie's hot body that they can't get. Little girls don't look how disproportionate to real life the doll is. Kids don't think about things like that. At some point, you just outgrow dolls and you don't think about them. This whole unrealistic beauty standards argument, that's a talking point pushed by adult feminists who just hate a pretty doll. So, Sasha and her friends tell Barbie that she set the standards for women 50 years ago and she's stuck there, that she supported rampant consumerism and is a fascist. These are clearly communist feminist talking points. If you want to know my feelings about communism, just watch my video on Oppenheimer. You'll see some similarities between the propaganda in both of these movies. I think it's funny that Barbieheimer comes full circle in their ideologies. So while Barbie was dealing with the girls, Ken steals a bunch of books about patriarchy. He goes to what seems like a successful company and talks to a man in a suit. Ken says he wants to take a high-level, high-paying job with influence, to which the man replies that he needs at least an MBA. Ken asks if being a man isn't enough, and the guy says, no, actually it's quite the opposite right now. Ken then says, you're clearly not doing patriarchy well, to which the guy replies, yeah, we're doing it well, we're just hiding it better. So Barbie gets captured by Mattel and brought to their headquarters, while Ken returns to Barbie Land. We then find out that Sasha's mom is actually the same woman who works as a receptionist at Mattel. Barbie is brought in front of the board, led by Will Ferrell, who plays an inept character in charge of the entire company. For some reason, his performance in this movie makes me feel really uneasy. They try to capture Barbie and put her in a Barbie box, but of course she outsmarts them and escapes. At this point, Sasha and her mom, Gloria, are waiting for her to get into their car. As they have a conversation, they all realize that it wasn't Sasha who was causing this, it was actually Gloria. She had become fixated on Barbie, and because she couldn't become like Barbie, she accidentally started to turn Barbie into her. Barbie decides to take them to Barbie Land, where Sasha questions her mom about why is she willing to go. Gloria's reply is that she never gets to do anything or go anywhere, she never has enough vacation days, and she can't go on the cruise she's been wanting to take because her husband is allergic to the sun. We are briefly shown that, despite being portrayed as a hard-working single mother, she actually has a husband who just sits at home and does nothing except learn a new language. Immediately upon return, Barbie starts to notice that some things have changed. What happened was that Ken went back and started to create patriarchy based on what he saw in the real world, and all the Kens are loving it. They take over, brainwash the Barbies, and turn Barbieland into a male-dominated society where women exist only to serve men. How they manage to do this? By using flattery and manipulation, distraction with romance, and rewriting history. The Barbies abandon their leadership roles and become submissive, rubbing the Ken's feet and serving them beer. Meanwhile, Ken kicks Barbie out of her own house. Barbie's world completely falls apart, and she is taken to Weird Barbie's house. Gloria gives a huge speech about how women can never please anyone with their actions. Doesn't that apply to anything? Anyway, her speech awakens one of the Barbies from the patriarchy spell, so they decide to snatch every single Barbie and give them the speech to awaken them. Once all the Barbies are back to being themselves, the last step is supposed to destroy the Kens and the patriarchy from within by causing them to fight among each other, just before the change of the Constitution to give all the power to themselves. The whole patriarchy falls apart, and the Barbies celebrate reclaiming Barbieland and their power. Will Ferrell shows up and says everything should be restored to its original state, to which President Barbie replies that there is no need. She apologizes to Weird Barbie for calling her weird. One of the Kens asks if they can get a Supreme Court Ken, which she instantly shuts down, but suggests maybe a lower circuit court position. They reply excitedly, saying they want to do it as long as they get to wear the robe. The narrator then says that Kens have to start somewhere, and one day, Kens will have as much power and influence as women have in the real world. Gloria then steps up and presents her idea of ordinary Barbie to Will Ferrell, to which he says no. However, the guy running the numbers behind him says it would sell, and then Will Ferrell immediately agrees. In the end, Barbie decides to leave Barbieland and live in the real world. This movie is not trying to be subtle. The point of this movie is to hit you over the head. There are so many parts of the dialogue that are just straight up feminist propaganda. The worst part is that this movie is aimed at girls and women between the ages of, 13 to 30? The movie sucks you in with a great cast, the premise of the iconic doll, good-looking actors, and great visuals, only to deliver the biggest propaganda dressed up as empowerment. I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty of feminism or the current issues in today's society or provide social commentary. We can all see the state of our society, which has never been more divided. I, like many others, believe in equality and that all people should be treated the same. We should all be treated as human beings. But feminists don't want equality. They want the advantages and protections. They want men to be called out for bad behavior but are not willing to call out women for the same things. They want only women to reap the benefits of society, not the downsides. Every time feminists make a fuss about women not being hired into positions held by men, they only talk about CEOs and managers. I'm yet to see feminists say women should take on the dirty jobs men do, like sanitation or construction. This movie is blatant feminist propaganda by women who don't want gender equality. They want to shun men, push them out, and seize power and control. That's what feminism is all about. It's just another form of communism because power rules everything. This movie is not subtle. It beats you over the head with feminist propaganda while disguising itself as an empowering film for women. Divide and conquer. If you like my Barbie analysis, make sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Until next time.